The world was never fair, and it never will be. Let's start with a truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. The world is not fair. Not sometimes, not occasionally. It has never been fair. This isn't a quote meant to inspire you. It isn't meant to comfort you. It's simply reality. And the moment you truly accept this, not emotionally, but mentally, something powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop playing a game that was never designed for fairness in the first place. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are people around you who are less capable than you, yet they are taken more seriously. There are people with fewer skills who hold more authority. There are people with weaker character who live better lives, not because they deserve it more, not because they worked harder, but because they understand how people think. You are taught to follow rules. They learned when rules can be ignored. You were raised to be polite. They learned how to position themselves. You were told that respect would naturally come if you stayed good long enough. They learned that respect is taken, not waited for. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The system is stacked, but not against intelligence, not against talent, not even against effort. It is stacked against people who remain naive, against people who believe fairness exists, against people who think good intentions matter more than psychological strength. For hundreds of years, this pattern has repeated itself. Empires didn't rise because leaders were kind. Influence wasn't built because people were nice. Power didn't move toward those with the purest hearts. It moved toward those who understood human behavior. The man who studied power, when others studied morality more than 5 centuries ago, a political thinker observed something most people refuse to look at. He didn't study power in classrooms. He studied it in chaos. He watched betrayals happen in real time. He saw alliances form and collapse overnight. He witnessed how charm defeated honesty and how strategy crushed morality. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli, and what he discovered still controls the world today. He realized something dangerous. Power does not belong to the smartest person in the room. It belongs to the person who understands people best. Good men didn't fail because they lacked ability. They failed because they didn't understand psychology. Ruthless individuals didn't win because they were evil. They won because they were aware. What Machiavelli uncovered wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. And today, those same principles are still being used in offices, relationships, politics, and everyday life. The only difference? Some people know the rules. Most people don't. Why this matters more than you think. Before we go further, understand this clearly. This video is not about becoming cruel. It's not about hurting people. It's not about manipulating everyone around you. It's about not being manipulated anymore. Because whether you realize it or not, psychological power is already being used around you every single day. At work, in friendships, in relationships, in family dynamics. And if you don't understand it, you will always be on the receiving end. Once you see how influence works, you lose the right to stay weak. You lose the comfort of blaming others. You lose the excuse of pretending you didn't know. Let me explain why this is personal. The moment reality hit me, I used to believe in effort. I believed that if I worked hard enough, people would notice. If I stayed honest, things would work out. If I did the right thing, respect would come. I was intelligent. I was capable. I was disciplined. And I was invisible. I watched confident but incompetent people rise above me. I saw manipulative personalities move ahead with ease. I watched charm beat integrity over and over again. And that's when something painful clicked. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards presence. It doesn't respond to kindness. It responds to certainty. It doesn't care who you are deep inside. It reacts to how you show up psychologically. That realization hurt, but it also freed me. Because once you understand this, you stop playing a losing game. People don't follow good intentions. They follow strength, a line you need to cross mentally before we move forward. Pause for a moment. Write this down somewhere, even if no one ever sees it. I will no longer allow others to mentally overpower me. This isn't motivation. This is permission. Permission to stop being passive. Permission to stop apologizing for your presence. Permission to step out of victim thinking. Everything that comes next requires this shift. Principle 1. Fairness keeps you trapped. Fairness sounds noble. It sounds mature. It sounds right. But in practice, it often keeps people stuck. Every time you wait for things to balance out, someone else moves first. Every time you expect equal treatment, someone else exploits the gap. Every time you assume others will act like you, you misjudge reality. This isn't bad luck, it's conditioning. Being overly fair teaches others something dangerous, that you won't push back. And people always test limits when they sense softness. Weak resistance doesn't create peace, it invites pressure. Real strength isn't about arguing louder. It's about creating consequences. You don't ask for respect. You don't explain why you deserve it. You create situations where disrespect stops being profitable. Stop treating everyone the same. Start responding based on behavior. Exercise. Think about the last 3 times you were treated unfairly. Write down how you could have responded in a way that taught consequences instead of waiting for fairness. Principle 2. Emotional control is power. Strong people feel emotions. They just don't let emotions control their actions. They feel anger, but they pause. They feel insult, but they don't react impulsively. Why? Because emotional reactions make you predictable, and predictability makes you easy to manipulate. When someone tries to provoke you and you react instantly, you hand them control. Psychologically strong people slow down. They observe. They choose the response that serves them best, or no response at all. Silence often hurts more than arguments. Calm correction does more damage than shouting. Emotions are information, not instructions. Example: imagine someone insults you in a meeting. Most people react immediately with defense, anger, or justification. The psychologically strong person pauses. They notice the motive, the power dynamics, and respond in a way that makes the attacker seem foolish or irrelevant without ever losing composure. Exercise. Next time you feel provoked, pause and ask yourself, what response will give me the most influence, not just relief? Principle 3. Being liked is overrated. Most people want approval. That's why most people stay weak. When people like you, they test you. When they respect you, they hesitate. Nice people over-explain. Strong people decide. Nice people tolerate behavior they hate. Strong people stop it early. Respect creates distance. Distance creates value. Stop chasing acceptance. Start becoming someone whose presence carries weight. Exercise. Think about a situation where you compromised to be liked. Ask yourself, did this build respect or just temporary comfort? Principle 4. One strong move beats many weak ones. People who talk constantly but act rarely lose authority fast. Repeated warnings teach people to ignore you. Empty threats train people to push further. Strong individuals don't react often, but when they do, it's memorable. If someone crosses boundaries repeatedly, don't lecture them. Don't negotiate endlessly. Don't vent emotionally. Observe the pattern. Respond once, clearly and firmly. Reputation isn't built in conversations. It's built in moments. Example: a colleague constantly interrupts you in meetings. Instead of arguing every time, you calmly call out the behavior once, making it clear the interruptions are unacceptable. The impact lasts far longer than multiple arguments. Principle 5. Perception shapes reality. People don't analyze deeply. They judge quickly. Your posture, your voice, your appearance, your confidence. These create assumptions instantly. If you don't shape those assumptions, others will, usually incorrectly. Confidence signals value. Hesitation signals weakness. Visibility isn't arrogance, it's awareness. You don't need to lie. You need to be intentional. Your reputation speaks before you do. Exercise. Practice walking into a room and observing the energy shift. Note what changes when you stand taller. Make eye contact and speak clearly. Principle 6. Control the meaning. Every situation can be interpreted multiple ways. Most people ignore this and lose control. Whoever frames the situation first often controls perception. If you don't explain your choices, others will label them for you. Same action, different explanation, completely different outcome. This isn't manipulation, it's clarity. Example, you cut off a toxic friendship. Without explanation, others may see it as selfishness. By framing it as a boundary for mental health, you control the narrative and preserve your social respect. Principle 7. Systems create authority. Arguments drain power. Systems protect it. Don't chase people who disrespect your time. Remove access. Don't reward bad behavior. Redirect your energy. No drama, no emotion, just consistent outcomes. People adapt faster to patterns than to words. Example, if friends are consistently late or unreliable, only invite those who confirm attendance. Let the system enforce respect without confrontation. Principle 8. Real power is quiet. Loud people seek attention. Powerful people build position. The most influential individuals speak less than expected. They explain little. They observe a lot. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates authority. Move carefully. Position intentionally. Let others underestimate you. Exercise. In your next social or professional setting, stay observant. Let others talk. Influence through your actions, not words. The final truth. If you don't understand psychological influence, someone who does will use it on you. Every day. At work. In relationships. In life. You don't need to dominate others. You just need to stop being dominated. If this made you uncomfortable, that's a sign you're waking up. And remember what you declare in the comments. I will not allow others to control me psychologically. Now don't just say it, live it. Because while you hesitate, someone else is already deciding how they'll treat you.